How are you, sir?
Hey Louis-Philippe, how you doing?
I'm doing great. You?
I'm doing really good. I hmm, let me try that again. Let me try that again. Hmm, hmm. It's a little bit weird.
Oh,
Yeah, what did you drop for a sec or something?
yeah. My phone in the house here. The phone sometimes drops some calls. I'll try. I'll see on the side of the window. I'm not sure if it's gonna work for. It works usually. It's just like it might happen again. Just don't be worried about it.
Okay, got it. If it happens, I'll simply call back.
Marvelous.
Yeah. So I thought I'd introduce myself a little bit. I'm an associate of Mr. Vic Sifton. Do you remember him?
Of course.
Yeah, he's the owner of Nascar Racing, and I'm a good friend of his, and I'm doing a motorsports project, which is an ebook documenting the history of motor racing in the United States. Yeah, and
Okay.
he's told me some pretty good things about you and about your skills. And last year I interviewed your brother, Jean-Francois.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a list of questions about your racing career that hopefully you have the answer for. They're pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. So my first one is where are you originally from?
I'm from. It's called Saint Maurice. Saint Maurice in Quebec, Canada. It's like 20, 25 minutes from St. Maurice. It's a little country village.
That's really cool. I'm kind of
Yeah.
from some sort of a village. I'm originally from Estes Park, Colorado.
Nice.
You ever been there?
No, I want to go to Colorado. I mean, it's for sure one of my bucket list places I want to go.
Yeah, if you ever do, you should go to Estes because the Rocky Mountain National Park is beautiful.
Yeah, it really looks cool. I have a couple friends at home played there, and I really wish I could make it there.
Yeah, I hope you do eventually. Yeah. So, what made you get into motor racing?
Well, my dad was a gym teacher, and afterwards became a mechanic teacher. And he was always been uh, passionate about racing and cars, and he was racing himself as well. And then my brother JF and I, we've been raised around racing, and then working on cars. And my dad didn't have much money to go racing, but he was really passionate about it. And at one point, when I was 12 years old, we went. My dad bought some scrapyard cars, like 50 or 75 bucks. I had a Renault 5 and my brother had a Volkswagen Rabbit, and we were racing on the ice on a frozen lake during the winter.
Ah.
And with my dad and friends, that's when we started. Working on cars like that, and then afterwards we went to the Jim Russell Racing School in Mont Tremblant, and then we worked on Formula cars, and we worked our way up from there, being more serious about racing.
That's really awesome, man. I remember skiing in the Rockies as a kid, or skating. Yeah, I kind of know what that's like.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was pretty cool, and then we had to work on the car, after school with my dad to make sure that we can race over in the weekend. But even then, those cars were not expensive. So sometime on the lake, we had to fix them on the spot, with frozen fingers, and underneath the car was dripping on us, and just crazy stuff. We had a ton of fun, and we've learned a lot out of it.
That's awesome. When did you make your first start?
Well, that's a Jim Russell. The Jim Russell School in Woodstock. That's when we started doing Formula Ford, Formula 2000. There was a mechanic championship. So the mechanic were working on the cars, so the clients can do the school over the weeks and stuff. And then within the mechanics, there was a championship. There was the same thing in England. There was the same thing in any Jim Russell school today. There was a mechanic championship, and we were working on the cars, and we were paid in track time. So that's the way we were capable of starting, because we had no money to go racing. So that's the way we started, and then worked our way up from there. Winning races, and then doing some afterwards. The Formula 4 Canadian Championship for many years, and then I won the championship in the Canadian Championship in 2002, and did some Formula Atlantic, and then went to sports car racing, endurance racing for many years as well. Then the 24-hour Daytona, 12-hour Speedway. Before that, I did Formula Atlantic and Formula Renault, but we had to do a switch at one point from Formula car to sports cars, because there was no money in the Formula cars. Like, the whole tobacco law there really didn't help any drivers to make it in the Formula cars. So we had to go towards sports cars. And that's it. At one point, 2009, we decided to go NASCAR, and here I am. 2020 is still racing, so it's great.
That's great to hear. Were you at the race where Jean-Francois finished in the top 10 in Montreal in the nationwide race?
I was not racing, but I was there watching for sure.
Yeah, what was your reaction when he finished in the top 10?
I was really pleased to see that. I mean, it was like a Cinderella story kind of deal, he didn't have the car to finish in the top 10, but it was in the rain, and ended up, fighting really hard. And when it's raining, the car engine horsepower doesn't matter as much as the driver, and that's where JF proved that his capability of being a front with those guys. Nice.
Who was your racing idol growing up? Your racing hero?
My racing hero. I mean, I had a couple of them. I mean, in my days, of course, we had Gilles Villeneuve. I was really young when Gilles died, but I was, the legacy was still there as I was growing up. And for sure, Gilles was a big hero for me, as Ayrton Senna, and then a couple other guys. But those two for sure, Gilles and then Ayrton. But as well as it's kind of strange, but I had athletes that, even if they were not race car drivers, I had athletes that meant a lot for me. Like Maurice Richard. I don't know if you know about hockey, but Maurice Richard was an athlete that had a lot of determination and a lot of heart and talent, and it's an icon for me as well. So it's just kind of people that I was trying to look at and think about, and trying to make my way through the really tough world of racing.
I see. Not surprised that Ayrton is on that list, because he was one of my heroes as well.
Yeah.
He was a legend.
He was for sure.
Yeah. Did Jean-Francois result in the nationwide race? Did it inspire you to find your own nationwide ride?
Yes. I mean, at that time we wanted to go and do some NASCAR in Canada, and then we started that way. I mean, at that point, I had some 24-hour Daytona experience. I had some endurance experience, but I mean, at one point we knew that going NASCAR was a good deal. It was a good way to express yourself if you can have some good sponsors. So, of course, it did help. And then we started our team, JF and I, at Dumoulin competition in 2009. And then from there, we built a lot of good relationship with the sponsors. And then I ended up winning the Rookie of the Year in 2011 in the NASCAR Canadian Series. And then after winning the Rookie of the Year, that's when WeatherTech got involved with me and started sponsoring me full-time since 2012.
Ooh.
And then from 2012 till now, we won 2 championships together and many races, and we finished on a podium in 12 hours Sebring and American Le Mans together. So WeatherTech for me was in all the other people that's been helping me in the past. I mean, it's a big deal. Like all the people that's been helping me, it's crazy. But for sure, like WeatherTech and I have been together since 2012, and we've done a lot together. So it's a great journey so far, and I really want it to last as long as possible. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, good luck with that. I hope you succeed. Yeah. So
that's the deal.
Yeah. So how did you get your nationwide series ride with Jimmy Means' team?
With Jimmy Means in the days, he came to Montreal, and he just had some, he needed a driver to be in the car, and we find a way to make it happen. Of course, we didn't have tires. We had to use tires, change tires, and then we had an old engine that didn't last practice. And he found another engine so we can try to qualify the car, and then and we ended up doing the full race. And on top of it, I mean, if we didn't have any problems during pit stops, I think we could have finished up 22 with a car that I think we finished 25th that day, but we could have a couple more positions easily. And then they were really happy with the result, for the money involved in that. And then I've done some other stuff with Gold Green Racing with Archie St. Clair in the nationwide series as well. And then we, that was more a started part. Archie wanted to qualify a car, and he called me, and then that's what we did. And we put the car in the field, and he wanted to race the car and walk in Glen. I was really excited about it, but we had brake problems the whole weekend, so we couldn't qualify a car there. Even in quality, my brake pedal was going to the floor. So I loved it. I mean, I know we can do very well in nationwide as well. Now it's Xfinity, but just need good material. Like we see drivers coming from the Nascar Canadian Series going to the nationwide in the days or Xfinity now. If they have good material, they'll be up front. So the same guys we race every weekend together. So I mean, we know we have a very competitive series, and that we can do very well if we have good material in the Xfinity or even for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. And what was working with Archie St. Hilaire like?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I had a good time, very good time with Archie. He's always very, very cool, and we had a great time. It's good stuff. He's been, working really hard to get his team together, and everybody on his team was awesome, and I had a great time over there, man.
Alrighty, cool. Was this before the team became Go Fast Racing?
Yeah, exactly. It was before that, yeah.
Alrighty. What was Jimmy Means like to work with?
No, it's a legend. Everybody knows him in the paddock, and that's why he found an engine there. I mean, everybody knows him. He's been there, done that, and he's a great guy to have around. And I mean, the guy was there, and in the old days with Dale Earnhardt and all those guys, that's why it was just amazing to be working with him. And he just kept his team going, and still now has his stuff going. So it's great, and it was awesome. I know at one point he had some money issue, and he had some problem with his team, and I know that Dale Jr. helped him actually to keep going there. So it's really neat to be part of that group and the legend that's been there since almost the beginning of the sport.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He sounds like a lot of fun, and I saw his team race last year when I attended the Xfinity race, and it was the Whataburger car.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool to see it on the track, but it was extremely orange. Yeah. What was working with Tim Brown like?
Which one?
Tim Brown, the crew chief.
Tim was great. Tim was a lot of fun, and we really matched well together. I mean, we had the same ideas set up wise, and it was really fun. I mean, same on both teams. I mean, we really were hoping that we can find more money to keep racing together.
Ah, pretty cool. That sounds very good, and I wish you guys luck on that. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, how did you get your ride with Randy Hill's team?
Which one?
Randy Hill's team.
Oh, it's just like we had um, the crew. Not a crew chief that was on my car, but that was on the other car. Girlfriend was from Quebec, and we had good talk with them, and we knew each other. At one point, we had an opportunity, and it just started like that. Just people connecting, knowing each other, and that's the way it ended up.
Ah, alrighty. Makes a lot of sense. What was driving the last Montreal race like in 2012?
Well, I mean that race it was fun. It was fun, but it's just we didn't. It just didn't end up. It just didn't end up. A big race for me. I had to park the car, so it was a fun weekend. But it's just well, no. The problem with this time, it's pretty impressive on track. So it was fun, but I went out. It was for me. I had to park it.
Ah, alrighty. So were you guys aware that this was going to be the last Montreal race when you raced that year?
Well, it was hard to say. I mean, at that point, we didn't know much. We had an idea, but it's a big bummer because I mean I think Montreal was a really good window for NASCAR, and I think they keep talking now. They're talking about trying to get it back. We'll see.
Yeah, and I've always said if there was one race that I wish wasn't taken off the calendar, it was definitely Montreal. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, and for us, it would be so cool. I mean, honestly, it would be really cool.
Yeah. What happened at Watkins Glen that caused you to not qualify for the race?
Oh, it's just a brake problem. It was just a brake problem.
Alrighty. And
I mean,
Watkins.
we tried to practice to fix it. Didn't work. We tried many things in both practice, and I think our car would have been, pretty easy to qualify that thing because I think we would have been fast, but with no brake, there's no magic,
Yeah. And Watkins Glen is a track that requires a lot of braking, so yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like we thought we had it fixed in quality. So I started, I went up the pit lane, and I do, the S's, and I get to the bus stop, and I feel the pedal just get mushy again. I call on the radio, I said, guys, I don't think it's going to happen. And they say, okay, well, just do your best, try to get it done, So I start the lap, and I get in corner one. I'm like, oh, man, that's not good, and I go through the S's, no problem. I mean, because you don't have to brake at the dump there. And I keep going, straight. At one point, the brake pedal is not there, and you don't want to go deep. So I'm like, I tried to brake deep. The pedal went to the floor. Like I could hear the pedal going bang in the floor, almost. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just random bang. Right? And I had to bump it, trying to slow it down. And then you got that guy at the bus stop there trying to put the flag thing. You got to do a stop and go before you go. But I want to do a stop and go, but then my brake doesn't work. I couldn't even stop the car at the bus stop. So.
Yeah.
It's funny now to talk about it, but at the moment it wasn't that.
Yeah, that's kind of tough to hear. Yeah. What is driving in the Pinty?
Okay.
Yeah, what is driving in the Pinty series like?
It's great, man. I think that it's a series that needs to be known better because it's very competitive.
Yeah.
It's very competitive.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's a lot of, money-wise, different than what you run in the U.S., you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
And then, I mean, it's just, I wish I could do more U.S., but I mean, at the same time, I get back here, I got tons of very competitive teams and very competitive drivers. We have good sponsors. We have great tracks. We do 5 road course. We do 9 ovals. We do short track. We do, half-mile track. Bit longer than a half mile. We got banking. We got a lot of, find a fair amount of cars, good fans. For me, I mean, I'm very happy with the series here, and my objective is to go win more races and more championships. That's the only thing I'm working at, and I want to make happen. I wish we could do Watkins Glen and New Hampshire. Those 2 tracks, I wish we could keep them on the schedule, but it's just, again, at the end, it's just all NASCAR to see if it works, to make sense for them or not.
Yeah. What is racing at Mosport like?
Nascar is one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah.
It's just it's a bit like Watkins Glen, actually. It's a bit like Watkins Glen because you got very high speed stuff, and then one corner that is slow, like 5B, 5A, 5B is slower, but everything else is fast. You can stretch your legs. It's a great track for the cars. Like NASCAR is, it's a bigger car, and it allows when street circuits. It's great, but you need to slow down a lot for street corners. But when you're in a track like Mosport and Watkins Glen or Sonoma or those kind of track, Mid-Ohio, and even like Road America is great too. It's all the same type of track that you can stretch your legs, you can lean, you can roll a lot of speed in the corners, you can use the horsepower, you can, get great fights. So, Mosport, I love it.
Yeah, and I've heard...
And the innovation as well. The innovation, all the blind corners, makes it really exciting.
That's pretty cool, man. And I've heard from Ron Fellows before, from reading about him, that part of the reason he did so well at Watkins Glen was because of his experience at Mosport.
Oh, that would make sense. That's for sure. That totally makes sense.
Yeah. Do you know Ron Fellows at all?
Yeah. I know Ron well.
Did you hear that he was awarded the Member of the Order of Canada this year?
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that he has that award now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is. And it's totally well-deserved, that's for sure.
Definitely. And what was your reaction to your first top 10 finish at Circuit iCar?
Oh, you mean back in the days there?
Yeah.
Oh, man. It was my first top 5, you mean? Is that what you mean?
Oh, it wasn't a top 10, it was a top 5?
I don't remember. I think my best reaction is when I finally got in the top 5 there at iCar. I think it was 2011 or 10 or 11. But anyways, first time I got top 5 with those guys, with all the work we've done and trying to get, all those, the money together to make it happen so we can go racing. Just to be in the top 5, I was very happy. At that point, you get more to sell to the sponsorship as well, So it was a big deal. We were very happy. And then that proved that, we were capable of finishing up front with those guys at the time,
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that sounds very good. And what was your reaction to leading your first laps in your hometown race in 2011?
That was amazing. We had a blast there. We had a great time. And again, that proved that we were capable of fighting up front, and battling for the win there. We ended up on the podium that day. I don't remember where exactly was second or you mean 2012, huh? I think we finished second or third there, but we were really happy. That was my first year with WeatherTech, so that was it was really cool. And we had a lot of great racing at Three Rivers. I won that race twice over the years there. 2014 we won that race, and this year we won. 2019 actually we won a race. It was the 50th anniversary for the 12 Grand Prix, and then for our family as well in racing. It was 50 years of racing for Dumoulin, so it was great. It was epic. And then my brother was looking at the podium this year, so it was awesome.
Ah, pretty cool. And what was your reaction to winning the pole in 2012 there at Troy Rivers?
Oh, 2000. I mean, when we got that pole that day, it was just an epic moment. You weren't. I was a road racer all those years, and I had to switch towards oval as well when I did my Rookie of the Year campaign in 2011. I did a couple of oval to get the Rookie of the Year. I didn't do the full season that year in 11, but to be full time in 2012 with WeatherTech first year, there was a lot of pressure on me, and then I had to learn the oval racing really quickly. And then at one point mid-season to get there and get the pole, it was epic because it really proved that we belonged in the front, and we had the team to be winning races. So it was really cool. I was very happy about it.
That's very good to hear, and it always feels good to succeed in your hometown or your home state.
Exactly.
Yeah. What is driving a Pinty's car like in Montreal compared to a nationwide car?
It's totally different. The nationwide car is heavier. It's got different type of setups on it. Honestly, it was totally different. Maybe more horsepower, but still, with the weight of the cars, I would think that the Pinty's car was actually a little more nimble around the track, even if we were slower because of the horsepower and the stretch. But yeah, it was different. But both of them were a great spot.
That's pretty cool to hear. And what was your reaction to winning at Most Sport in 2013?
Oh, winning was everything that we were looking for, and then to win the first race of the season was epic for us as well. I mean, again, going with new relationship with sponsors and trying to get all that together over the winter. I mean, with WeatherTech, it was the second year, but I mean, we keep telling them we're gonna bring some results, and they were right there behind us. And then we show up first race of the season, and boom, we won the race. It was just awesome. The perfect way to start that.
That's really cool. And winning the first race, that says a lot about how your season's going to go,
Yeah.
So did you ever attend any races in Most Sport before you became a race car driver?
Oh, yeah, but I was really young because it was my dad racing.
Oh, your dad.
Yeah, my dad was again was racing his Mini Cooper right there. So my brother and I were going there, and then before the race there myself, my dad was racing there, but my brother is older than me, so he was racing there as well. So yeah, it was one of the tracks that I really loved. That track in Mont Tremblant for me was two of my favorite tracks still.
Yeah. So did you see the 2013 truck race that NASCAR hosted at Most Sport?
It's what?
Did you see the 2013 truck race that NASCAR hosted at Most Sport?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Did you see how intense it got near the end of the race when the drivers were desperate and there was that final lap collision with a couple race car drivers?
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen everything out of it, and I know Pappas. I know a bit of those guys, and I mean, it was different when you look at it, for sure.
Yeah, and that shows how intense NASCAR can get when emotions run high. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
That's for sure. That's for sure.
yeah, and I interviewed Pappas last year, like I'm doing with you, and I didn't really ask him about it because it's probably not one of his fondest memories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a pretty cool race because of all the action and all that. So yeah. Do you consider most sport to be your best racetrack statistically?
Uh, I mean, I think it is for a series is one of the best. As I told you, for the car, it really suits well our cars. You know, it
Ah,
really goes fast around that joint, and then it's I think it is one of the best track for our series.
pretty cool. And I would love to go there one of these days if I can ever get to Canada so I can see it in person because a lot of drivers have told me it's probably the best road course for race cars. A lot of drivers have told me
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. What is working with Mario Gosselin like?
It was awesome. Mario just became friends, and it just it you got a lot of Mario is just another legend in the racing. Like the guy's I've done so much in racing. He's been there on that. That's the way we say it.
That's great. And I think he has an Xfinity team called, I think it's called DGM Racing or something like that. And it looks like it's a team on the rise.
Exactly. That's his team. That's exactly his team.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it succeeds and that I can see it race again one of these days. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, and I'm wishing them to do very well this season because they worked so hard for it. They totally deserve it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And what was your reaction to winning your first championship in the Pinty series?
This was for me more like something that we worked for so many years to get the big trophy in a NASCAR series. Knowing that your name is going to Hall of Fame is just amazing. Believe me, that feeling is just outstanding. There's no words for it. And then, it was my first championship within the NASCAR series, but go to the Hall of Fame there and get your name in the Hall of Fame and get to hang out with all those guys and get the ring on the stage. And it was just proving that we've done all that, all those crazy years of working hard to make things happen. It was to prove that it was worth to do all that work.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And what was your reaction when you repeated the championship? Was it the same feeling?
It was different. Like the first time again, for me, it was more about everybody that's been helping me over all those years. And it's kind of giving it back to those guys, saying, you didn't sponsor me in vain. You didn't do that in vain. We really worked hard, and we proved that we could bring back home for everybody that's been helping me since the beginning of my career. The second one was with our home team. Preparation wise, it was us doing the preparation. My brother and then I started the mechanical part of the team in 2015. At the end of 15, so before that we were renting rides, but doing it by ourselves in 2018 was just amazing. About 3 years after starting our own.
Yeah, for sure. That's really cool. That sounds very good. And the fact that your family kind of participated in the celebration, as you said, that kind of reminds me of the ending of Days of Thunder when Cole Trickle won, everybody and like the entire cast celebrated, not just his race team. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You got that right. You got that right.
Which is your favorite racing movie between Days of Thunder, Talladega Nights, or any others you can think of?
I mean, Days of Thunder would be after that. I mean, you got Le Mans race. I mean, Ricky Bobby is more like a funny thing, you know. Like it's cool, but it's more like funny, and it's all.
Yeah,
it would be more Days of Thunder and Le Mans for sure would be a nice team.
Yeah, if I had to pick my favorite, it would be Days of Thunder, but Talladega Nights is pretty funny, you know. Sacha Baron Cohen played a pretty good bad guy for a comedy, you know.
Yeah.
So, what was your reaction to being winless for a few seasons before winning again in 18?
Oh, well, these days, those years were the years that we were building the team, you know, and that's why it was so hard, you know. And when we decided to build that team, we were like, all right, let's do it ourselves, and we're gonna make this happen, But it was way harder than we thought to do that, and then that's why when we got the championship, and we got back in the winning circle. And to be honest with you, Mario Gosling was helped that year as well in 2018. I mean, he was my crew chief in 2014 when we won a championship, but in 2018, he was on the phone with us, helping us to get the right stuff.
That's pretty cool, and that's great to hear that Mario participated. That's really cool.
Yeah, Mario's been part of my success a lot.
Yeah, and what is driving Le Mans like compared to the Pinty series?
American Le Mans was fun. I mean, it's a cup car. It was a Porsche Cup car, and I had a great time driving with my teammate in that race was Lee Keen and then Cooper McNeil.
Ah, pretty cool. Did you ever meet Dan Gurney?
Great driver.
Did you ever meet Dan Gurney?
I met him, but didn't really talk much with him.
Okay. What was Gurney like?
I mean, I don't really know him much, but I know he's a legend. And for sure, he's done so much in racing. I mean, this guy was fearless, you know.
Alrighty. And what was driving the Grand Am Sports Car Series like for NASCAR?
Those were great days. We did the 24-hour Daytona. We've done some longer race, in Utah. We've done lots of some good racing. I really liked it. It's just different type of racing. I really like the endurance racing because I work out a lot. I like the physical part of racing. That's why I really enjoyed the Formula cars in the days as well. I like when it's hard and it's hot and it's physically demanding. So I really like the endurance series as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, we had to go towards where the sponsorship were, and then going towards NASCAR was a good move for us.
Pretty cool. And have you ever raced IMSA? IMSA?
IMSA? Yeah, I did the prototype for 24-hour Daytona in the Daytona prototype.
Pretty cool.
I think that was 2012 or 13. I don't remember. Well, maybe 13, but the car had problems during the night, and we didn't finish the 24-hour Daytona. But the Daytona prototype is really physical as well. It's more like a Formula car. Prototypes are really cool to drive, and I really enjoy that.
That's really cool. What was your fondest racing memory out of all the fond memories you have?
Oh, man, that's so hard. It is so hard to find one thing about racing. I mean, of course, all the big championships, all the big wins, like winning, like this year winning the Three Rivers Grand Prix 50th anniversary with my brother on the podium was epic, but winning the championships was just amazing. all kinds of wind we had, like that oval wind as well. You know, for a road course driver, when you win on oval, it makes you feel really cool too. You know, so there's so many good moments. It's really hard to pick one up.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If I had to pick my fondest memory, it was a couple years ago when I went to the Cup race at Phoenix Raceway. It was about a couple years after I went through a rough period in my personal life. And what happened was I met a couple of the drivers on pit road during pre-race. And one of them was Kyle Larson and the other one was Tanner Berryhill.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good pick right there.
Yeah, and what I liked about it was Larson was someone that I had wanted to meet for years, and it was a dream come true to meet him, you know?
Yeah.
And it was also a surprise because it wasn't set up. Like, I encountered him on pit road, and it was pretty cool.
Really,
Yeah. And
there you go.
yeah, and that meant a lot to me. Like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the perfect timing there, huh?
Yeah, perfect timing. Although it wasn't at the same time, it probably shouldn't be that surprising because the thing was, it was a surprise, but looking at it, it's kind of happens a lot, but he was in line for the Porta-John, and that's where a lot of drivers go before the race, you know?
Right.
Yeah, and I asked for a photo when he was in line for the Porta-John, and he was a good enough sport to grant it to me.
Really?
Yeah, and he was pretty cool.
Hey, might as well. If you're waiting there, might as well make it, efficient.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'm with you on that. How many races have you won in total?
Wow, total winning? I don't know. That's going to be a lot.
Yeah, I might need to look that one up maybe on Racing Reference. Have you ever
Not a lot of winning.
Yeah, every driver loves to win. That's just how the sport runs. You're there to win, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Have you ever considered yourself a rival of Jean-Francois when driving for separate teams or no?
Yeah, man, we had to at one point. We fight, on track at any time. Like we have to do it all the time, fighting together, but we're trying to be respectful. And we've been racing against each other for so long that we understand the game that behind racing his brother and teammate. Yeah. I mean, there was some friction here and there, but I think we worked it out pretty well. I mean, we're both now in charge of the team in the NASCAR 50 series, and we're doing well together.
That's good to hear. Did you see the 2007 All-Star race incident between race drivers Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch?
Oh, I got to go back and see that. I haven't heard about it yet, but I haven't seen it.
Have you and Jean-Francois had moments like that, or no?
No, not to the point that we destroy stuff and we go crazy. No.
That's good to hear. Cause yeah.
Oh yes, we did. We did. But it wasn't it was rental carts.
Oh, it was go-karts back when you were racing go-karts?
No, like rentals. You know when you rent go-karts, the little local go-kart track,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, that can get pretty ugly sometimes, especially with pro drivers.
Yeah, and I kind of had a similar moment like that with my brother years ago. This was back in 2013, and we ran a go-kart track in Tucson, Arizona. And basically what happened was my brother, whose name is Harrison, he picked a go-kart that was at the front of the field and was going to be the first one out. And what happened was we didn't wreck each other, but we kind of gloated to each other with what happened. What happened was he took the lead and led the first lap, but then his go-kart broke and he stopped in the middle of the track. And as I passed him, I kind of waved at him to say, "See you later, alligator." It was kind of a gloating moment. It was a kind of gloating moment. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, his cart was literally stopped in the middle of the track. And by the time they got it working again, he lost like 9 laps.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
That's hard to cover that.
Yeah, and Harrison, he kind of chuckled when I waved to him like that because he knew what I was saying, but he was not happy about it. Like, he was going up to the people asking if he could have a refund. You know?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So, yeah, what is racing in Toronto like?
Racing in Toronto is great. I mean, it's the street circuit during the Indy weekend. It's fun to be part of that weekend. I think a lot of drivers are from Ontario, and then it's a big town. A lot of the sponsors are based in Toronto, up in Canada. So it's a fun circuit. The organization is great over there. So I really enjoy it. I won there the Formula 4 days, Formula 4 2002. I think I won the race there.
That's
finished on the podium in the Nascar series there 2 times and 3 times, I'm not sure. But I wanted to make this happen now. I got to win this race, so again.
Yeah. I hope you can win there soon. That'd be really cool. I wish you luck in that.
Yes, sir. That's the plan.
Yeah. What is working with Robin McCluskey like?
Robin is great. He's an outstanding fabricator. He's a little shy, or he's not the kind of guy that's talking much, So he's more a doer. He's a lot of fun to have around. He works like all day, all night. He's just a very hard worker, and he's coming from same kind of deal that we. There's not from money, He just worked his way up in the racing industry. He used to race himself. He's from the West Coast in Canada, and he's just a great guy all around, and it's a lot of fun.
That's great to hear. Pretty cool. What is driving at Daytona like?
Daytona is awesome, but just to add up, like I have Benoit again here. He's working with Robin. I got like my car chief and my crew chief working together, and both are really, really good guys. Driving Daytona is just the first time you get there is pretty amazing, because when you get on the banking, you can't really see up front. The only thing you see is asphalt, so you got to look in the top left corner. And I mean, we do the roll there, and then it's a lot of speed. It's a lot of speed coming in the corners. Like corner 1 is very tight, and people don't really realize it. But if you walk the track, you realize that it's very tight.
Awesome. When did you first?
The track is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet it is. Boris once said a few years back when talking to Dale Jr. that he likes Daytona better than Talladega because it feels like a video game.
Right.
Yeah. When did you first go to the Daytona International Speedway?
The first time?
Yeah.
Before racing myself, like I went to watch my brother, I think it was in 2002, 2003.
Ah.
That was the first time. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Did you ever?
I was not racing. My brother was racing.
Ah, so this was before your career then, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Have you ever been to the Daytona 500 at all?
No, because it's during the it's part of the season that we're working really hard on our stuff and working on making things happen here, and then I went to the last race of the season at Homestead. I think I went 2-3 times there. But no, I wasn't there. It's really crowded, yeah. So yeah, one day I've been invited to go very often, but when I'm not racing, it's rare that I'm going to the racetrack.
Ah, I see. Which Homestead race did you last attend?
Oh boy, what was that year? I think that the last one could have been 2014. Not sure.
That was the year that Harvick won the championship.
I think that's the year he won the championship, and then and I went in 2009 or 10. I think Clint Boyer won the nationwide championship that year.
Alrighty. I think the one where Boyer won, I think that was 2008, if I remember right.
Well, that's possible. Maybe it was 8 as well. I'm not sure. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. I remember when Harvick won the championship that in 14. I remember that even though I wasn't a Harvick fan at the time, I was pulling for him in the final part of the season because that year I was kind of hoping that anybody other than Brad Keselowski would have won. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was the year that Keselowski was getting into some incidents with other drivers, and at the time I don't hate him anymore because I have more respect for drivers, but back then I literally did not like the guy, and I was kind of hoping that anybody other than him would have won. Although now I'm kind of more mature to the point that I have more respect for every person that gets behind the wheel of the car. That's just how I felt back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
But now I have a lot more respect for anyone that gets behind the wheel of a race car, regardless of my opinions on them as a person. So yeah. Plus, that was kind of in the middle of that rough period that I told you about, that rough period I went through in my personal life. So that probably didn't help, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty cool to see Harvick win. And yeah, that he was long overdue anyway. So yeah, have you ever been to the Indianapolis 500 at all?
Nope, neither. Again, I'm the kind of guy I really like to. I really like to watch on TV. I mean, I can see a lot more on TV than I think that. But again, don't get me wrong. I like to go see the race at the track itself. But and then Indianapolis is usually at the beginning of my season, so it's hard to make it over there. You know.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And what was your reaction when you heard that Jacques Villeneuve Jr. won the 500 in 95? What was your reaction to that?
Oh, I was very, very happy. I mean, again, I was always been a big fan of the Villeneuve family. And I was very happy for Jacques to win, the championship, winning the 500, or winning the Formula One championship as well. I mean, for me, I know Jacques Jr. Is a bit different as a person, but I really he was my teammate in NASCAR 50s in the year 2013, I think.
Oh.
And I knew him before that as well, but I always had a good time with him, even if sometimes it can be a little strange. I mean, I really enjoyed time with him. I really respect Jacques, the uncle. We talk sometime here and there. He's really, really cool. And the Villeneuve family is like 30 minutes away from here.
Oh, really? That's really cool.
Oh, yeah, it's like very, very close from my place. And, the museum. The museum's got a lot of stuff in there, and then there's one of my show cars in there. There's a couple places that we have in common all together.
Ah, pretty cool. Have you ever met Scott Goodyear?
If I met him?
Yeah, Scott Goodyear.
Yeah. He's a cool guy. I like him too.
He was another guy that.
Like Richard Bernard. He's the type of guy like Richard Bernard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And Scott was another guy that probably coulda, woulda, shoulda won a couple Indy 500s, but yet he just wasn't lucky, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's a very good driver.
Yeah, and he seems like.
And those cars in those days were pretty scary.
Yeah, because they went up to hundreds of miles an hour, like Ari Leyendyke's run in 97 or 96. That was fast, you know?
Yeah.
Alrighty, alrighty, so this is my last question on the list before we kind of conclude the interview. Let me see. What does your future look like as far as racing?
Well, I've got, we signed a 3-year contract with my sponsors last year in July, so I have 2 years ahead of me, like this season and then the season in 2021 is my 2-year contract that we have with WeatherTech. And my plan is to win more races, more championships, and then I would love to keep going for many more years in the NASCAR 50 series. And then if I can get some endurance racing as well here and there, I would be very happy. But, I mean, from my point of view, if I can make it for, I'm 40 now, so if I can make it till 47, which is my number, I would be very happy. And then we'll see what, life brings me after. I got 2 young kids, so, I mean, I want to keep going here as long as I can.
Yeah, that's good on you, man. And hopefully you could be like AJ Foyt and race until you're 60. But, yeah, we'll see if time brings, you know?
I'll keep the shape. I'll keep working out for that. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All righty. Thanks for making the time for me, Louis-Philippe.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And let me know when the article comes out. I'm just very excited to see that.
Definitely. I'll let you know when the ebook comes out. It'll be very good.
Awesome. Well, you say hi to Vic Sexton for me. I miss him. I can't wait to see him again. And you have a good day, and thanks again for your time.
No problem, and I'll tell him hi for you.
Okay, thanks again.
All righty. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. That turned out very well. Yep. What a fantastic interview. I'll keep doing these.